Alright guys, there were 3 problems that you had questions on from the worksheet. It was number 6, number 10, and number 11. So those are the ones I'm going to go over right now. So here's 6. 6, we are talking about a building and a shadow. So if I set up my triangle, the first information they give me is that the building is 250 feet high. So that's going to go on the height of the triangle. And then it says the shadow is 40 feet long. So make sure you're thinking about when you're outside where a shadow is. The shadow is always on the ground. So that's going to go here. And then we want to know the angle of elevation. So remember, the angle of elevation is always between the horizontal line and the hypotenuse. So it's going to be here to the nearest tenth of a degree. So I'm going to call that x. So right now we have opposite and adjacent, which means we're going to use tangent. Tangent x is equal to 250 over 40, and then we just have to do tan negative 1 of 250 divided by 40, and we get that that angle, just double checking here, is 80.9 degrees. So hopefully that clarifies wherever your question may have been. And the next one, we're talking about looking up at a scanner, which is going to be on top of a house. It's just an antenna on top of a house. And this is very similar to the Mount Rushmore example and the smokestack example that we talked about. So if you wanted to draw a little picture just to have some dimension here, here's the house, here's the antenna up here. And we want to know what the height of the antenna is by the end of this. And we've got to fill in all the information they gave us. So first off, they told me the angle of elevation from a point 28 meters from the center of the house. So that 28 meters is how far we're going out from the house. So that's going to go here. And then the angle elevation to the top of the antenna is 27 degrees. So it's going to be this big angle here. Whoops. Big angle is 27 degrees. The angle elevation to the bottom is 18. So that's going to go to the bottom of it. That's 18 degrees. So our goal is to find this here. But that's not part of a right triangle right now. We've got to look at the right triangles to help us out here. So I'm going to start with the smaller triangle, the one that's on the bottom here, and we're going to be able to find this missing side. I'll call it x, and that's going to be opposite and adjacent, so it's going to be tangent. Tangent 18 is equal to x over 28 times by 28 times by 28. X is equal to 9.1. And then if we look at the other right triangle in the picture, that's the big, whoops, it's the bigger triangle here, the one with the 27 degrees. We're going to use that triangle. That's going to be tangent again, but now 27 degrees is equal to x over 28 times 28 times 28. You get x is equal to 14.3, and that's going to tell me, I guess I could have called that a different number. A different letter. Maybe we should have called that Y. Okay, kitty. Sorry. I'll call that Y. And then to find the question mark, we just need to subtract those two numbers. So it's going to be 14.3 minus 9.1, which is where I got an answer of 5.2 meters. Okay, and then number 11 is the last. So in number 11, this one's a little different than what we've been looking at. You kind of had to think a little bit more for this one. It's talking about this garage where he has an iron roof on the side of his house, and the garage is 4 meters high. So you have that filled in over here already. That garage is 4 meters high. That's actually already filled in right here. And his sheet for the roof is 5 meters long. So that's the actual tilted part here. They filled that in already too. It's 5 meters long, and the angle is 5 degrees. That's the angle inside here. That angle is right here. We want to know how high to the nearest tenth he must build the wall. So the question mark right now is, how high is this? That right now is not part of a triangle, so we can't use that first. We need to use the triangle in the picture first. So we have that triangle, and we can use that to find just what that little piece on the side is right now, as I can find what this little piece is. This little piece is, I'm going to call that X, using that green triangle that I highlighted right there. So that's going to be opposite and hypotenuse, so it's going to be sine. Sine of 5 degrees is equal to X over 5 times by 5, and you should get X is equal to 0.4. That's how much that little vertical piece is. How that helps me is I know that the garage itself is 4 meters tall, so that whole selection for the garage, I can move that over on the other side, is 4. And now the little blue piece is 0.4, and if you look at what we're trying to find the wall, which is shorter than the garage, in order to get that slantedness of the roof. So I need to take that 0.4 off of the 4. So it's just going to be 4 minus 0.4, which is how I got an answer of 3.6 meters. Okay, so hopefully that helps. There is a homework quiz tomorrow, so all of your homework from this week should be up to date. This is why I've given you the videos so you can watch them, make corrections. I could be picking problems from the videos. I could be picking problems that I didn't do in the videos since you guys didn't seem to have questions on them. So it's going to be a mix of different problems.